I've got to stop. I've got to stop dealing with straight men. Like, just queers and women from now on.
We're good. I just can't move forward and back, otherwise my boobs will topple over the fucking microphone.
Like our protagonist and her
billowing
norks.
pillows.
Anyway.
Dear. Hello, listeners. I'm Natasha.
And I'm Damien.
Welcome to episode 16, sweet 16 of the Lowbrow Lowdown. We are reading pandemic-themed literature.
So you don't have to.
So welcome to the final episode of the season. And we have saved the best/worst to last. We've done it. We've read more terrible literature than should be allowed to exist and survived to tell the tale. And neither of us caught COVID.
Thank Christ.
Fingers crossed. Let's make it through to the end of 2021 without catching COVID.
Yep.
Because Damien's coming over for Christmas dinner on Thursday. Damien and his partner and maybe his puppy dog.
Yes, she's going to hang out on the large balcony. Yes.
Yes. No, on a large balcony, not like, teetering on the edge of a tall building.
No, nothing like that. It's a very nice, ample space. It's all very fenced and netted in. She'll be very safe and comfortable.
She'll be perfectly safe, and the cats will just stare at her through the glass.
Oh, she'll be so excited because she's never allowed to get that close to a cat, like even through the glass. I think she'll be like, I think this will be
she's going to have two cats to contend to.
Oh,
I feel like I need to make a correction.
Well, yes. I was going to say. No, you say because they're your cats.
Yeah. So last week, I welcomed a little kitten into my house as a companion for Peanut during the day for when we go back to work. Lol. And that's going to happen.
Never going to happen.
And I'd originally named him Penguin, but it didn't quite sit. Didn't fit, didn't work. And it just felt too close to Peanut, yelling it out, stop eating that penguin, stop eating that penguin. It sounds the same as stop eating that peanut. So he has been renamed to George.
I think it suits him. And when you
suit him very much.
Sent the picture and said, I'm going to call him George, it just suddenly went, oh, yeah, he's a George.
He's a George. He and Peanut are such great friends already. My heart breaks at the thought of how wonderful it is in a good way. I don't know.
I feel like maybe our Twitter feed needs some Peanut and George content.
Oh, yes. I will tweet some photos of Peanut and George fighting and tumbling around the lounge room, but, with love.
Yes.
All right. Let's get into this book. That's what we're here for today.
Yes.
And if we sound weird, it's because we're back to remote Zoom podcasting because we don't want to catch COVID
before Christmas.
And
also we're just both exhausted and driving across town.
And El Nino is doing shitty things to the weather, and we both have sinus issues and
not COVID. Being tested.
We've both been tested multiple times. All right, Damien, let's hear what this book is about. So
we are going back into the incredible mind of MJ Edwards. Sorry,
what's
MJ.
that movie with A Beautiful Mind?
A Beautiful Mind, all the numbers.
Easy numbers.
It's called Covid Claus is coming to town. Jesus, I can't speak. Parentheses, kissing the Coronavirus Chronicles. So while MJ did previously promise that there'd be no more Coronavirus Chronicles, we are getting a fourth installment as a Christmas special because, and I quote, she read about Santa Claus visiting all these nations. Sorry. When did you read about that? I will read out the blurb. I really should read these before we jump on. I read
it tonight. Very entertaining.
Okay. All Dr. Holly Mistletoe wants for Christmas is an orgasm. Is that too much to ask?
No, it's not. Christmas is a special time of the year.
would highly recommend someone gets her a dildo for Christmas though, because she's not working in like she's. You got to have the right tools for the job.
Have the right tools for the job. Yeah.
Unfortunately, her important zoology work is getting. Sorry. I'm really going to struggle through this. Unfortunately, her important zoology work is getting in the way, and despite her numerous attempts at sexual gratification with people, she is
extremely disturbing.
She has resigned herself to seeing in the new year with a dry vagina. I'm sorry, Natasha. Until early on Christmas morning, there was a clatter and a chatter from downstairs. When Dr. Mistletoe ventures to investigate, she's shocked to find Santa sat in her living room, but something's not quite right. After travelling around the world, Santa has been exposed to every coronavirus variant there is. And when a deadly disease comes into contact with a powerful magical force, maybe Dr. Mistletoe will get her Christmas wish after all. Covid Claus is Coming to Town is a spin-off to the audience-delighted Kissing the Coronavirus series. My God.
My God, what an intro.
Yep.
There is a lot that's disturbing about this book, and that intro does not do it justice. How disturbing this book really is.
It was... Has it jumped the shark?
I think it's jumped the shark.
It's that thing...
Or it's heading towards the ramp.
Yeah, it's all those things that we love, but it's almost like there was a view that had to be pushed further and further, and we've pushed it maybe a bit too far.
Some of like the analogies that we loved from the other books felt a bit laboured and too self-aware.
Yeah, it's sort of. I like, and it's that thing, and you see it in erotica a lot, where they come up with different, like they have a thesaurus of colloquialisms to describe breasts in this case.
Yes.
That are like, seriously, how big are these breasts? Like,
it's mammoth.
At one point, when she sees Santa with his belly like a bowl full of jelly, she's like, his belly was even bigger than my breasts. I'm like, how big are your breasts? If that's a surprise.
We've all been to the beach in summer and going, oh my goodness me. But, you know, and also we're not shaming anyone.
No. Like, I mean, I've got a belly like a bowl full of jelly right now. Don't worry.
I have 2 bowls of jelly. No, I'm sorry. So bad. Sorry. I've had some, because of this remote situation, I've had some mishaps with the microphone and my boobies.
Yes.
It's really embarrassing.
So I think one of as with any MJ Edwards story, we do get a bit of exposition to kind of tell us a bit about this character. So Dr. Mistletoe, she has a first name, doesn't she?
No.
Oh, she does. Dr. Holly Mistletoe. It's in the blurb.
Oh, Holly. Oh, my goodness. Of course.
Of course it's Holly.
We've got
Mistletoe.
to reinforce it. It's Christmas.
Yeah.
And mistletoe sounds like a very real name.
Yes.
Very real.
But she's she needs to establish that she's a zoologist, and I wasn't scrolled there, but her description of what her job entails was
I may have
wonderful.
highlighted this.
Or would you like to share what her job entails?
Yeah. So she she's describing her job at the zoo as a zoologist. She strokes the zebras, laughs at the penguins. They look so fucking stupid. Lol.
But also that's someone's job to laugh at the penguins.
Yeah. I mean, there's probably more to it, but that's kind of what stood out to me. It's like, do they look a bit stupid? Yeah, I think they do. They waddle about. They're hilarious. But, you know, it's not a job.
No. I mean, that's why the patrons are there.
Yes, they're the ones to look and laugh, not the people meant to be feeding. And
well, also, like, a zoologist isn't a zookeeper.
Correct. No, and she doesn't seem to, like, she works as a zoologist. And she's a doctor, so she can't be an idiot.
She's
but,
got a PhD in zoology of
been
some
here
kind.
before. Her super busy job at the zoo as a zoologist. I mean, oh yeah, she feeds. Oh, she.
Because I would assume there are zoologists at the zoo, but full disclosure, I don't really know what a zoologist exactly does. Like, because are they sort of part geneticist? You know, are they doing breeding programs, or is it more like anthropology?
I actually don't know what a zoologist is. I feel like my only real information about zoologists is from that TV series Zoo.
Is this the one where the animals go crazy?
Yes.
Yes, I watched all of that. I quite enjoyed it.
Yeah, I quite. Another one of my dystopian watches during the pandemic. Oh, sorry. And one thing that her job doesn't entail, in that she spends a lot of time with the animals, she can't do anything sexual with them, which is, adding to her frustration.
She says, "Not again."
Not again.
Which, it's like, yeah. This is the jumping the shark.
Like, she can't be that sex starved that she resorts to bestiality. I mean, that's that's a kink I will shame, because that is
well, you can't consent.
You cannot consent. There is no consent in that abuse.
Dan Savage has a story about he in his, because he's a sex columnist, and at one point he spoke to somebody who was having relations with a horse, and there was this whole thing about like, well, if you're back there and a horse doesn't want you there, they'll get rid of you. And he's like, okay. And then he said, is it a male or a female horse? And the guy got really insulted, and he was like, I'm not gay.
How dare you?
I'm just like, yeah, that's where you draw the line.
Yeah, okay.
I have no idea if that story is true, but he told it on his podcast once. And I was like, I mean, that doesn't surprise me. That
it's sickening. Do you remember, this is Black Mirror, that first episode of Black Mirror with
the pig.
The pig. I could not get past. I have not watched any more episodes of Black Mirror because I just felt so nauseated by that episode. It was revolting.
So I generally struggle to watch it. I find it, while I like really dark things, I find that just too kind of despairing. Yeah, there's never any hope, and it's very Twilight Zone. Like, you get to the end,
that little mini story. I mean, I know all the stories are different, so I could give it another go. But I just thought, no, if that's how they started this series, I'm just, I don't know. All right, so she'll go into the plot. I mean, it's a very short story. It takes place over one night.
She's decorating for Christmas, the night before Christmas. Because she's so busy as a zoologist.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, okay, all right. I need to look up what a zoologist actually does.
Well,
to understand why she's so busy. Like,
and why is COVID making life more busy?
I would have thought that it wouldn't have been as busy.
Because I mean, if your job is something that's not about patrons at the zoo, I'd imagine it's as busy as it normally is. Because whatever the animals need.
Yeah, they still need the same. Anyway.
If someone knows what a zoologist does, they should email us at lowbrowlowdown@gmail.com.
Do you know, or are you a zoologist? Has this novel ruined any perception of your livelihood? Yes, lowbrowlowdown@gmail.com. So while she's decorating her tree and
reminiscing about all the dicks that she
has known.
Well, she had all these sort of encounters. Sorry, that's my dishwasher in the background. This is one thing that made me I mean, I know we've discussed our thoughts about who the author is, and I know we've done some off the record research about it. But it just the descriptions about these encounters with dicks during the pandemic, which are socially removed, like a postman sticks his stick through the letter box rather than the mail. She wanks off her
ex-sister-in-law's accountant or something.
Her sister-in-law's ex-husband's accountant.
Oh my fucking God.
So her brother's accountant?
Something, yeah, there was an accountant and something else.
The guy at the chip shop.
Oh, that's right. The battered sausage. Yeah. And so she went home with a battered sausage but no orgasm.
Yeah. And yeah.
But coming back to why I think this is a male who's writing this, she's saying, "Oh, I haven't been able to have an orgasm despite doing all of these things to penises." I was like, they could just be doing those things to you, and you might have an orgasm.
But I think this is probably taking us to where the greater problem is. So she's like decorating a tree and everything but the topper, which is a naughty Santa Claus. And so she plunges the Santa Claus down her never-ending cleavage that goes for days.
Days.
How big are her baps? They must be like for days.
For days.
And
she must have a very sore back.
Yes. Oh, we need a GoFundMe to help her out with some
hoists. Anyway, the Santa.
She uses it as a sexual aid. To no great effect. She's very upset. But
because at the moment of pleasure, she sneezes and it
ruins everything.
Just puts the mood. It takes her out of the mood or whatever.
Yeah. But it just made me go, and this is the thing, it's written by a man. Why does this woman not own any sex toys? Like, if you are so in touch with your sexuality, why would you not have a great understanding of how to
male sexuality?
Yeah. And how to, like, you know, do things for you. And I look at this and
don't need a penis in order for women to orgasm. Don't need another person.
No. Does she have a hand? Like,
she's got fingers, for fuck's sake. Plunging a knobbly ceramic object into yourself over and over.
It's a recipe for disaster.
Sounds awful. Sounds like a hospital trip waiting to happen.
Absolutely. It just...
So it was actually very... I mean, and it's one of a number of very uncomfortable sex scenes. Shall we go through a couple of the others, or should we just get to them as we get to them?
Well, so when she's frustrated, she smashes the Santa against the stone heart.
The dripping wet Santa.
And then she annoyedly... Well, you know, she's very annoyed, and she puts out some chocolate chip biscuits and some milk and a carrot for the reindeer. And it's like, are you 5?
Santa would like that she would be taking care of Rudolph.
I think
carrot.
I think my internet just went shit for a second and I lost you as you started talking. You're back now.
Okay. All right. Yes, so she'd left out some cookies and milk for Santa and a carrot for Rudolph because she was a zoologist and she knew that Santa would like it. Like the fact that she would be taking care, she's taking care of Rudolph. She's a zoologist and a grown woman who believes in Santa.
Did she tell you that she's a zoologist?
Yes. I think she works at a zoo.
Does she? I never would have guessed that.
I was just about to say something about a colleague of mine, but I won't. Or maybe I will, but if you cut it.
We can save it to the end if you like.
We'll save it to the end. Yep. Yeah. Okay, so she went to sleep drunk after leaving cookies out and a half-decorated tree. Like it was decorated apart from the topper. Just a bit disappointing. It's like, the Christmas tree is not a Christmas tree without the topper. And she woke up at a very specific time in the middle of the night. Did you notice that? She was woken up at 2:36 and 11 seconds a.m. or something.
How did I miss this?
I don't know.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, 2:38 and 11 seconds. Like,
why? What's that add? Just that strange detail.
Just say 2 in the morning. Like, if you say 2 in the morning, in my head, I'm like somewhere between 2 and 3.
Yes. I'm not going to say you're a liar if you didn't give me the exact time. So she woke up to a sound and a clatter on the roof that sounded suspiciously like coconuts being banged together. So
it's like a pantomime.
Some Radio 4 production.
That poor Foley artist.
Was it burglars? Was it Santa? And then she pulled a gun out. I thought she was in the UK for some reason.
I think she is in the UK, isn't she?
Yeah, so...
Because she says Norks later to refer to her boobs.
It's extremely
which is
UK
very,
and Bristols and very UK language to describe boobs.
Yeah, she's in the UK. She just inexplicably has a gun.
Buried in her cleavage. And it's like, where does it actually...
I feel like there must be a lot of stuff in there.
Oh, then it's not a kangaroo pouch. Like, and it turns out it was Santa, who seems to have contracted every variant around the world.
Yes, all in one night, and because he's magical. Which we do know this from the previous Coronavirus Chronicles, that too much COVID results in magical mutation, too much cure results in magical mutation, and then mixing two variants resulted in another
That's
mutant
right, another mutant of some kind.
And now we have all the variants with the magic of Christmas gets us a festive
COVID
magical mutation. This is where she's she goes there and she sees this bigger man, because he's Santa, with his flushed cheeks and all of that, and his belly that was even bigger than her breasts, which she was shocked about. Which I just feel like bellies are normally bigger than breasts.
Breasts are, yes, they're not. Anyway, they're not that giant. Or maybe they are, but and Santa's cheeks were as big as Big Hand John. No, as big as red as her butt. After Big Hand John smacked her on the ass over and over, or whatever.
Big Hand John. Imagine if that was your name.
Do you know why he was called Big Hand John?
Do you? Well, so
big hands.
Except, like, I always, and maybe this is a very Australian thing. Like, I had a brother-in-law who was very tall, but was called Shorty, and we call redheaded heads Bluey. So,
no, this was literal. He had big hands.
All right. Well,
and so it's called Big Handed John. Whereas if he was in Australia, he'd be called Little Hand John. Little John. I don't know. It's all very... So the poor porcelain... Sorry, I'm scrolling. She drank away her feelings, rubbed her eyes viciously, which wobbled her magnificent boobies.
Oh, everything wobbled her boobs.
Everything. Tiptoeing gently wobbled her mammoth tits.
She like... So Santa's like not coping, and he said, "Don't come near me. I'm okay because of the magic of Christmas. But if you come near me, we have no idea what will happen."
I'd hope that the magic of Christmas would stop Santa from being a super spreader.
You would think, but
I feel like if he's delivering variants, is he the one we need to blame for Omicron?
Oh, fuck Omicron.
Fuck Omicron.
But the magic of all this stuff makes Santa hot, essentially. His belly sucks into abs, he becomes muscly, his beard disappears to reveal a chiseled chin, and he's got a massive wang.
Enormous. It's a big cucumber.
Look, at least it wasn't 2 meters long and dragging behind the ground this time.
It's a little bit more realistic.
Yeah, I've seen a cucumber before.
Yes.
Oh dear, sorry. And because coronavirus does this when it magically mutates, suddenly everyone is overcome with lust.
Yeah, instantly. Like he's writhing and hissing and spitting and moaning, and he gets an erection.
Yeah, which is
instantly.
And does he ask her to undress? She just
actually, she just pulls her clothes off. Oh, sorry, you're going to quote?
an amazing thing. Santa Claus, she asked, her voice naught but a squeak. I am no longer Santa Claus, he said, his voice deeper than the big wah sound from the Inception trailer.
Is that what I've not seen Inception.
You know, like every thriller kind of epic blockbuster has that trailer and it starts with wah and then the music, you know, ding, 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 comes in.
I'll have to look.
And it's like meant to get your attention.
Yeah.
I mean, I cannot make that sound with my voice. You are hearing me.
You're going to have to put it in over the top, aren't you?
Yeah.
We'll have to find
I'll
it.
see if I can dig one out.
I think you'll be able to.
Then who are you? She asked, her knickers moistening at the sound of his pure manliness. I am, he said.
Pure
then
manliness.
paused dramatically. Covid Claus.
COVID Claus. Sounds like a legal brief of a terrible code.
Yes, it sounds like there's a COVID clause on your lease.
Mm.
We are up to my excerpt, and it's like the proper one, not just me.
Go for it.
Inception bois. I'm sorry. This is a really gross excerpt, and we haven't had a gross one for a while, and I'm apologizing in advance. Yes, he nodded. I'm going to make you come like you've never come before. Yes, Daddy COVID Claus, screamed Dr. Mistletoe, and she ripped away all her clothes to reveal her naked body to him, which was super hot and lovely, and she, of course, had the big tits and her bum and legs were really nice too.
Did a 10-year-old write this?
And her legs and bums were really nice too.
Yes. I have to, give her compliments. She was just nice. Oh, this.
It gets worse. They dove at one another, their lips locking and their tongues disappearing down each other's throats like their stomachs were magnets and their tongues were hot metal. Oh my God.
Just.
I have one more sentence to read from my excerpt. Then COVID battered her breasts, kneading them like he was a baker, and her tits were freshly proven dough. Just, you know.
I'm going to read the next sentence because
I left that one out on purpose.
I had highlighted that going, oh my fucking God, this is the least sexy sex scene I have ever encountered.
Yeah.
He began masticating her nipples, his thick lips flumping against her aureola, spelling out, the bumps on her skin spelling out, surely, holy shit, that feels good if they were to be read like Braille. But it's just like his thick lips flumping. It just
flumping.
Just
also masticating.
Chewing.
Yeah. Like chewing for the purpose of swallowing.
Yeah. So I thought I was expecting a pass and I thought I saw someone at my front door, but I do not. This is where the cucumber cock, fumbled, blah, blah, blah. Oh, no. Can I read this next sentence out? Dr. Mistletoe fumbled for COVID Claus's cucumber cock, which she bent down and forced so far into her mouth that she could taste every single bite of the milk and cookies he'd eaten that night.
How? Does he eat with his penis? Like, is his form of eating to mash his penis into the milk and cookies?
I don't know. I wish I didn't have to read this, but
it was wild.
And then again, another look. I have made a couple of notes about very uncomfortable sex scene descriptions. And this one, oh no, I've lost it. Damn it. Oh, okay. Anyway. Then COVID Claus pulled her up by her breasts.
Yes.
Ow.
Yeah, that...
My God.
Not comfortable. Although, like, that could be someone's kink. I don't know. But it sounds painful.
It does sound painful.
But, like, I think of, what's his name? The guy that hosts that tattoo, Ink Master. He does the thing where he's got, like, big piercings in that bit of his top of his shoulder and he puts like those cabana clips in and gets lifted up.
Oh, we don't like Stellark, the artist.
Yeah, like that.
Like it hooks in his skin.
Yeah. So like people do shit like that, and like
people do shit like that. That's true.
That could be good for someone.
Although they met 8 seconds ago.
Yeah,
so
he's making a pretty strong assumption that she's into having her tits pulled off.
It's hard to know. This is a discuss. Covid Claus, so they're having sex, because there's a proud flagpole between her legs, and there's lots of trains entering tunnel analogies, like a few times. We get it. Oh my God. So Covid Claus is thrusting like he's trying to start a fire inside her vagina. It's like rubbing dry sticks. I mean, no. And Australian weather gets a bit of a mention.
I was like, are we influencing this? Because I feel like
it's about us, actually, because there was a mention about, excuse me, there was a mention about not hot kangaroos. No.
Oh, muscled kangaroos,
yeah, muscle-bound kangaroos. So, hey, MJ Edwards, if that was about us, thanks. We love you.
It does very much have that thing of male ejaculation is female orgasm.
Oh, yeah.
Which we've seen in all of the books, every piece of erotica that we've read.
But this one especially, I felt like. It's...
this one and also the courting the coronavirus one as well. And it's a thing of like...
That wasn't
MJ Edwards, no.
No,
that was a different one.
But it's the same principle, isn't it?
There's this real kind of... Yeah, and it's why I always think they're written by men. Or is it just that because it's such an...
Is it a formulaic...
Yeah, it's a formula, or maybe it's like the outward expression. It's easy. I mean, it's easier to describe maybe than the kind of the feeling and emotion that might be more interesting.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. So I didn't really have an excerpt. So, let's keep going with
I mean, there's not much left to go.
There's not much to go. There really isn't. So he excuse me. So they have sex. He bursts into her, and then afterwards he takes off his Santa hat. I love the fact that was just on the whole time.
The whole time.
And just wipes. It's just he treats it as a cum rag, and just wipes it off. Wipes himself off from his softening member, like it was a balloon with the air being let out of it. So it's like, oh, MJ Edwards sticking to tradition, like Christmas.
The balloon always gets a mention.
Balloons always get a mention. And then he disappears, and she thinks she's had a dream. And it's like, lady, there's physical evidence
everywhere.
There's jizz dripping out of your vagina. She's like, maybe it wasn't an orgasm. Maybe I dreamt I had an orgasm, but it felt real. It's like...
And she slips over.
She trips over it. What's that wet stuff on there? No.
It feels like a really bad like comedy aimed at teenage boys of like that happened and then go, oh, that was a really weird dream. And then the lady slips over on the floor because it's covered in cum.
Oh God.
She goes upstairs and finds the hat. So she woke up downstairs
on her pillow.
And she goes, oh, it was real. It was real after all. Oh, it's a Christmas miracle.
It's a Christmas miracle.
It was,
and that was it.
Yep. It was wild.
It was wild. So I didn't really have one excerpt. I had a bit of a snippet of best of sentences. I think I'm going to start with the dedication to the reader. I'm sorry if you got this as a present. The person who gave it to you mustn't like you very much. Oh, I love it. I did highlight the stroking zebras laughing at the penguin sentence. She hated watching TV these days because there were always good-looking people having orgasms. It's like, that's not TV. That's just Pornhub.com Close your laptop, lady.
I mean, it depends what you're watching.
Oh, look, I know. I'm just being hyperbolic. This whole virus thing was ridiculous. Like, I agree 100%. It's like a sinister version of Santa Claus, except people got coughing fits and hospital stays instead of socks and B&B vouchers. Like, oh, it's true. And Santa himself has just delivered a whole bunch of coughing fits and hospital stays to all the children of the world.
Bloody Santa.
Santa, you're shit. And just some wonky sentences. Her tree looked great apart from the absent tree topper that wasn't on the tree because she was holding the tree topper.
Yeah, I had that one highlighted.
Just laboured and obvious and deliberate. You know, when you're reading, you don't want to see the writer's hand. And
and
I think we saw it too often in this book.
Yeah, absolutely. It's that thing of there are types of writing that have to over-explain. There are types of writing that need to be really succinct and simple. And this is one of those ones where you really want to like just trust that the reader understands what's going on. Use ellipsis. They will fill in the blanks.
Yeah. And this last sentence that I kind of loved. She wasn't, after having met Santa in her lounge room, but before he turned into Covid Claus, she wasn't fazed about meeting Santa on account of having met other celebrities in the past.
Were they also mythical?
She's got a unicorn out in the backyard.
You know, unicorns are real. She's a zoologist.
She's a zoologist with a very indistinct job description. Oops. I don't know. I don't know that I loved this one.
I would say, look, Kissing the Coronavirus 2 will always be the highlight.
I listened to that one the other day. So still, it made me laugh so much.
That hot dog. There's like a point once a week where I think about how much I laughed at that. Is that hot dog? Look, for me, I guess like a 3 out of 5. It's still like, it's not terrible. There's still a good message.
And I think, it's my opinion. I think, I gave it a 3 out of 5 face masks. It's a really funny look at Christmas. And there's no shortage of Christmas stories. This one is really hilarious. I'm 100% in my belief that this was written by a man. It's very penis-centric. It's very male orgasm-centric, even though we are told that penises equal female orgasms. Seriously, women do not go on and on about their boobies as much as Dr. Holly Mistletoe does. But there's really good place building and world building. It's her lounge room.
No, you.
I've really got when you're reading a book and you have this little mental picture of what
their world looks like.
What their world looks like. It's like I've got a really good sense of it.
Oh, absolutely. And whether or not we sort of laugh a bit at her, we understand the character. I mean, she's shallow, yes, but I feel like we could have gotten to know Dr. Holly Mistletoe a little bit more. But this is just a little bit. I don't know. It's felt a little. I don't know. You know what it is? It's. I'm going to say it's okay. Maybe it isn't okay. But it's one thing for us as the reader to laugh at an ironic depiction of a dumb idiot. But I think that the author on this occasion was laughing at her as well. Do you know what was missing?
Or writing it for that effect.
Do you know what was missing? In, I think, every other book from this author, your excerpt has been that little moment that they stopped. And there's no little moment in this.
There's no little moment. That's why I couldn't really find an excerpt. I mean, I could have picked a disturbing sex scene. But I thought,
but you need the little
Damien's
moment.
Going to do that. No, I didn't. There was no. She was just too. No, it wasn't even that she was depicted as too shallow. There was just no depth to this character. Or no color. I don't know. That's just. She was just a. I don't know. I'm not describing this very well.
There was something missing that
there was something
was present
missing
with the others.
Yeah. However, as I was thinking, who would buy this sort of book? And I think this is actually, as we go into lockdowns, not us, we are not going into fucking lockdown again. But I imagine as countries around the world are doing this whole thing again and again, like some Groundhog Day that never ends. I think this is the time of book. If you've got a bunch of people on Zoom or even in person, if it's a small group of people who really live with each other, and do a live reading of this book, it would be hilarious and bonding. And can you imagine a dinner party or any kind of event where, this book or one of the other MJ Edwards books read out loud? I would be weeping with laughter, and it would be such a bonding experience with that group of people. And I think
I've done this before with friends. We got really drunk and I did a dramatic reading of it's the Twilight cross Harry Potter cross Interview with the Vampire fan fiction called My Immortal, and it's like Harry Potter Twilight erotica, and it's terrible. And we got really drunk and I did a dramatic reading of it, and it was the funniest thing. Like, just because we're all like in the same kind of headspace. I think
it's the same. It could be a really hilarious shared experience. So I think these are not books to be read for the pleasure of reading, or even for sexual pleasure. No. But as a way to connect with other people, yes.
Absolutely. And honestly, if you have a group of friends, who all love My Dad Wrote a Porno, as an example, this is the type of book where you could say to them, hey, we're all going to get together and we're going to do a dramatic reading. And it could be, you do a chapter each. It's not really chapters in this.
Yeah.
Or there's somebody who likes to perform and...
Perform?
Well, you know what I mean. Like, put on the voices.
Not like live action.
So is this making sex gestures with my hands?
Please, no.
Well, people should tell us what they think. We are big supporters of MJ Edwards. We think they're doing wonderful work.
We love their work.
And if you want to tell us what you think, I think, is it your turn to do the tell us what you think, Natasha?
Oh, it is. Sorry. I had to take my glasses off because they really hurt under the
headphones, yeah.
The headphones. So, and then I couldn't read. Yes, please do tell us what you think. We are at Lowbrow Lowdown at gmail.com, or follow us on Twitter at Lowbrow Lowdown to share your thoughts and also to check out up and coming photos of George and Peanut together.
I'll throw some in of Stella at some point as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, do. I think maybe we get a photo of George and Peanut looking through the mirror, through the window at Stella, assuming they're not hiding under the bed, shitting themselves with fear.
Yeah, assuming
giant
she's
dog.
like normal. But before sorry, you go.
No, I was just thinking, should we kind of do a bit of a wrap up of the year? But we didn't plan.
I mean,
well.
I've got ideas.
Okay, let's hear your ideas.
So we've got a bit of a list of things to look at. So Natasha's provided a list which covers best books, worst books, books we'd recommend, regrets, and delights. And I'd like to start with regrets.
Okay.
So when we first started this thing out, we picked a heap of books that we maybe hadn't looked into enough. And there is one book.
Not enough vetting.
There was not enough vetting. And not vetting enough was a regret because we read some things that were like, ooh.
Yeah.
There is one book that didn't make it to
it would never be broadcast.
No. And this is because this book included necrophilia, and we decided no.
And it was really disgusting.
It was awful.
We both felt nauseated. Like we couldn't make it funny.
No, and we like recorded it and we were just both so angry. So I regret reading.
We can't do this. We can't.
I was like, I can't put this out.
Stop it. This is going to kill our brand.
So I do regret reading that book. It was not fun. And I regret not vetting
recording that whole thing. It was like, what a waste of... Anyway. Yeah. It ruined our buffer too. Because we had a buffer, but... Anyway, sorry.
Not vetting enough. Like there were some books that were...
There were some authors. It was like, are we steering into anti-vax territory?
Yeah.
Should we name those books?
No. I can't remember the names of them. But I mean, we released episodes, and it's not like because we panned the book. We said the person's an idiot, numerous of them. But it was that thing of like we should have like vetted a bit more beforehand, and it's something we're going to take forward into the next season is to kind of have a bit of a better idea of what we're jumping into. Because you'd read something and you just think, like, how does this? And almost always like so much racism,
so much.
Just like, and you're just willingly publishing this into the world. What is wrong with, like, clearly they don't think it's wrong.
The really racist one, but I can't remember the name of it.
It was the crime one.
Yeah, the crime one that was just so shit.
Really
that's right.
detective.
The detectives just did nothing.
Didn't even solve the crime. Someone else did.
Someone else just killed the murderer. I don't know. Gosh, I'd forgotten about that one. God, it was racist. It was shit.
It was racist and it was misogynistic. Every woman was obsessed with shopping.
Yeah.
Which brings me to the worst books because I think that was that and the very first one we did, the Cold V 20 Killer.
Look, I don't think that was the worst book. It was Melbourne centered, so I kind of liked that, and I liked I was amused by the gender flipped characters of Danielle Andrews and Dr. Button. Anyway, Professor Button.
The worst one was definitely the terrible crime one, and also the most recent romance. What was it called?
Oh fuck!
We can't remember the names of any of these books.
We can't. They're just so shit. But we have to listen to all 16 of our episodes to to hear more.
I feel like best books and books we recommend is probably going to cross over. Absolutely. The two best books were Covid and the Rotten Roots of, I've already forgotten how to say it. Yggdrasil, yeah.
Yeah.
Which were both really well done.
Yeah, with a special mention of We Fucking Hate Zoom Quizzes by MJ Edwards.
MJ Edwards, which is actually the book I'd recommend. I've recommended Covid to quite a few people. And
so many. It's just
and lots
terrific.
of people who've read it have loved it. But I Fucking Hate Zoom Quizzes, I think really I connected to that.
Books we'd recommend thread when we release this episode. So keep an eye out on our Twitter at Lowbrow Lowdown.
Yes. Follow us. We've been getting a few more followers recently, which is exciting.
So exciting.
But yeah, definitely I Fucking Hate Zoom Quizzes was surprising and delightful and just
really
that
warming, heartwarming.
But that poem about the clapping for the NHS really stuck with me. And I think it really captured how a lot of us were feeling about the ways that people were kind of treating this. And it was really well done. Probably one of the most surprising things that those three were the top of the list.
Absolutely, the top three. I've got nothing to add to this list. So I mean, I wrote this list thinking I already know what the best books are and what I'd recommend. Worst books, they're the books we haven't forgotten, but that we don't remember.
We should have a special mention to Chuck Tingle.
Oh yeah.
He was. He wasn't the best books. Wasn't
the best books, but was absolutely delightful.
Yeah, really enjoyed. Loved the Wereplane.
So he's on our delights.
Yeah, he was delightful, and there were lovely kind of thematic links between all of his stories that were quite fun.
Quite fun. All right. Are we done for the year, for the season?
We are. How did this happen? Thank God it's over.
Thank God. Don't have to read these fucking books anymore. Maybe I can cancel my Amazon Kindle Unlimited.
Oh, actually, yeah, that's
It's
what
like
I got to do.
$14 just to read shit erotica.
Yep.
A month. I can't. I've got a little cat to, buy food for.
Yeah,
So,
I feel like
that's fun.
it's run its course. It's done its job.
It's done its job.
We won't be reading books at that rate again.
Look, this has been an absolute delight, Damien. So thank you for the journey. It has been one of the funniest things I've done in a really long time.
Well, what I'd say is we have done something that maybe other people haven't done, whereas we, in the moment of this pandemic, we've gone, right, well, what are people creating about this in literature? And there was a lot. There wasn't much good, but the good stuff was
There's
great.
a lot of, and Amazon.com really has to, like all of the big conglomerate companies like Facebook and Twitter, they really have to sort out the shit. The amount of conspiracy theory books that I had to sort through to find anything for us to be able to read was disturbing. And I read one or two and it was just horrible.
Well, and this is the thing is I mean, I can go on about the lack of information literacy for days. Like all these books exist and people don't seem to quite understand that anyone can publish anything.
Anyone can publish. I have published a cookbook. I just hit publish. And there we go. I'm a published author.
Exactly.
Well, it was a lot of work, so, I have pride in it.
Also, yours was very lovely and high quality and wonderful. But literally anyone can publish literally anything.
Anyone.
Like the number of typos we've read, the poor sentence structure.
God.
Like you don't need any qualifications or knowledge to say things in books. And so, or anywhere online, really. And even in reputable sources, people build enough of a profile that reputable places will go to them and go, well, you've got a following and we need clicks. So like just bit of common sense, people.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
On that cheerful note. No, it's been a bloody great year.
It has.
Apart from the pandemic.
Yeah, apart from all the shit. But thank you.
And Merry Christmas.
Thank you to everyone who's joined us for our first season. We're going to be off for probably for a month or so, maybe a bit longer. And then we'll be returning with Unpacking the Undead.
Unpacking the Undead.
Very excited.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. See you, everyone. Bye. Happy Christmas. Get your boosters.
Yes.
If you can. I know they're hard to find.